So what Finance Minister Arun Jaitley is saying, he's probably saying all of this in Japan, that banks will need further recapitalization, that he's willing to raise recapitalization in the budget if it's needed, and the right time to act is when the value of the banking stocks is of course rising. That's when he sees the maximum growth, and that's a pretty obvious situation. Let's bring in our consulting editor Jaitley and the in-house expert that we have when it comes to the banking space at large. Good afternoon, Jaitley. You know, more than what he's talking about, the further need for recapitalization, let's also just remind our viewers that on Friday evening, the finance minister also spoke about the recapitalization should also be dependent on the banks cutting down their costs, but there are all kinds of overheads, and only when a turnaround is in sight. How do you put all of this together?
Well, following the ordinance, it was very clear that the government is serious, is going to ask the RBI to step into the act and basically tell companies that, look, and the bankers, that if you're not going to come to an agreement, then we have to take you down the insolvency route. Now, that would necessarily entail banks taking a haircut, and automatically following from that, banks would need more capitalization if they are to comply with Basel III norms. So I think that is a pretty obvious statement to make. The question is, does the government have the financial wherewithal to provide that recapitalization funds, number one, and more importantly, is that the best use of taxpayer money? I would think it's not the best use of taxpayer money, because frankly, if you were willing to bring your stake in these banks down to less than 51%, maybe the banks will be able to get the money from the markets itself, because as we've seen from the IPOs that have come into the market in recent months, there's no dearth of money willing to put in, for no dearth of investors, no dearth of money. So provided the government was willing to bring its stake down, there would have been money available for banks. So the question remains, is this the best use of taxpayer money? And frankly, I don't think it is.